We're taking a look at some economics regarding the ice hockey Olympic team for USA. We can get right into the stats here. We got America. They're listed as with over 253 million adults and over $550,000 in wealth per capita. These are two important metrics in economic output. So that also includes the athletes you can produce. It's a similar thing. You need wealth and you need people to have infrastructure, training, healthy diet, etc. So they're big factors. Now, there's not many countries that really, I think the only country that is really close in population, somewhat close, I mean, it's still less than half, is Russia. But the problem is with Russia is that they have very, very small wealth per capita. So Russia is at a complete disadvantage economically against U.S. hockey. Now, of course, not every region in America plays ice hockey at a serious level, but there are some that do. But the advantage that the U.S. has is that of the states that play it seriously, they're supplemented by others. So if we can check out some of the main ones are like Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota right down here. And but I mean, even Illinois, even though they only sent one person this year, but they're even supplemented by like southern and western states like Florida. They have 20, and Arizona here with 10, and even Alaska is contributing, even though they have a very small population. So the U.S. does have a huge advantage. Even over Canada, they have a significant advantage in in economics regarding ice hockey and other sports. So, but let's look at let's compare like a province. For instance, we'll go with Michigan, and how about, or maybe Illinois and Michigan against, say, Ontario. So Ontario has about 150 NHL players. Illinois, like we said, had 80, and Michigan has 31, Minnesota 47. Okay, but we're looking at Michigan and Illinois here because they're closer in population to Ontario. So Ontario is it's pretty certain that Ontario is more efficient and probably better, could probably win most games against either Illinois team or a Michigan team. And then we could look at something like Sweden. Sweden has, let's see, almost 8 million. And then we'll compare them to, say, Michigan again. So Sweden is much poorer, significantly poorer than Michigan. However, they have about the same population. So, you know, they're roughly the same in economics. However, Sweden is much more efficient in ice hockey. So if we're going to play Sweden versus Michigan, you probably want to put your money on Sweden 9 times out of 10. So then we could look at, you know, something like Latvia. They're very small population, somewhat, you know, not extremely poor, but not rich like some of these other countries. And they have 6 or 7 people compared to Alaska, like 1 or 2 people in the NHL. Even though Alaska has, you know, half the population, they still have way more wealth, which is a very big factor. There's other areas too, like, let's see. Okay. Well, I could say Manitoba, but we're talking about the USA right now. So anyway, we can see that, you know, the US could put some substantial teams that could be competitive in the Olympics if things were more equal. If they had to like send national teams from a state or something like that, they could put some competitive teams, but most of the teams would get absolutely destroyed by some of the top teams like Sweden and whatnot.